Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Kuda Mugabe. I'm an independent researcher, a consulting archaeologist. My paper is on tourism and rock art, the case of Mapoka, Nlapkhwane and Zwenshambe in the northeast Botswana. This area is where my ancestors come from. Rock art tourism. Rock art tourism involves the development and promotion of rock art sites as tourism destinations where visitors can learn about the past, experience cultural landscapes, and understand the beliefs, rituals, and artistic expressions of earlier societies. It includes visiting the rock art shelters, caves, cliffs, and open-air panels, guided interpretation by trained heritage guides, visitor centers, trails, signage, and cultural storytelling, conservation and protection of rock art sites, and integration of local communities as custodian and beneficiaries. The paper will look into how the local communities of these villages, the 3 villages, are utilizing the rock art sites and ways in which the rock art sites can be developed or enhanced to attract more tourists. If you look in the map on your right, there's a rectangle there. Oh, sorry. A rectangle there, that is the northeast part of Botswana where we find the 3 villages. In Botswana, when you say, or when you talk about tourism, these are the areas of interest that most tourists visit. They visit the Tsodilo Hills, they visit the Chobe National Park, they visit the Okavango Delta. But in terms of rock art, the most prominent tourist attraction area in Botswana is the Tsodilo Hills, the Manyana rock paintings, and Pomoremi rock paintings. Tourism in the Northeast District. The Northeast District tourism activities. The district offers tourism packages that increases visitation to sites and create revenue for the locals. This includes every year the district hosts the Domboshaba Cultural Festival, which is held near the Domboshaba ruins. This is used to promote the Kalanga culture and traditions. Tutume Hamba Challenge, the picture that you saw, or that is on the screen there, these are ladies riding the old bicycle. So the Hamba, we call it the Hamba in the Kalanga area. So it is aimed at the revival of the use of the classic Hamba bicycles. In the Northeast District, this was the main transport. There were no cars by then, so the bicycle was the most used form of transportation, mainly ridden by the ladies also. They will carry things on their back and also have babies on their, carry things on their heads and then have babies on their back. The other activity we find it in the Ntimbali Dam, primarily involving recreational and tourism opportunities like wildlife viewing from a deck, quad biking, rafting, traditional dance, and relaxation in the natural setting. In the Northeast District, the villages of Ramokhebana to Mbalambi are situated along the border with Zimbabwe, with some just a kilometer or 2 from the borderline or fence. The distance connecting one village to another is not greater than 10 kilometers. The locals or communities living in these villages used to live in southern Rhodesia, which is present-day Zimbabwe. They came to the area fleeing the Ndebele Wars. They found the rock paintings in the hills. The hills in these villages they are very attractive and unique rock paintings associated with the Matopos in Zimbabwe rock paintings. The paintings are not found in one hill but several hills within a village. The paintings are mostly people sitting, lying down, holding hands, dancing, clapping, carrying bags, mythical creatures and animals. This is the Northeast District. And then if you see on top there, the red coloring is the 3 villages which we are concentrating on. This is Mapoka on my right, followed by Nlapkhwane and then Zwenshambe. 20 years ago, when I was doing my undergraduate studies, these were some of the sketches that I made for my thesis. So 20 years ago, I did research on this area, mainly recording rock paintings found in the area of Nlapkhwane. How the local communities of these villages are utilizing the rock art sites. The villages, or in all the villages, the 3 villages, they have formed community trusts in each village, which is responsible for the management of the sites. The community trusts in the past used to collect revenue through wedding photo shoots and tourists visiting the area. Also in the hills, there is harvesting of indigenous fruits, harvesting of trees or plants for medicinal purposes, harvesting of mainly the harvesting of the short bristle mint shrub, which is called Umfazimuke in Kalanga, Lekhalala Tsweni in Setswana. I'm not sure about the scientific name. The area is also used for agricultural purposes, as they are fields or areas where people plow around the sites, some of the sites. If you look at this picture, an interesting picture, we'll come and look at it. It's on top of the Gandanyemba hill. That is one of the rock art sites in Nlapkhwane. There is this is a granary that is within I'll say it's not a cave, it's an enclosing. There is in the past, when the Kalangas were fleeing from the Nlapkhwane wars, they came and settled in some of the hills. So in these hills, there were foundations of granaries where they used to hide their grains. So to date, there's only one granary that is still intact, although it's half. Even 20 years ago, it was still like this. The community use the site for spiritual and ritual purposes. Churches and individuals visit the sites for prayers and rituals. If you look in the picture, there's this yellow thing there. That is a snuff box. There are coins inside the granary. People who visit the site throw in coins for luck or for whatever reason. There is also rainmaking ceremonies that are hosted within the area. The Hosanna rainmaking ceremonies occur annually at the villages of Mosojani and other Kalanga villages such as Mapoka, Nswazi, and Dagwi within the Northeast District between the early August and later April. So the Kalanga believe that for for rain to occur, they have to please their ancestors. So some of these hills are used for this occasion. The challenges that we have within those sites or the three villages. The community trust, as I said, they were formed in their functions, but they are not functional. They are there, but they do not perform their duties. These community trusts were formed with the National Museum, Botswana National Museum, but I'm sorry to say that the National Museum has sort of like abandoned the community or abandoned the sites. There are no trained guides at the sites. In the past or over the years, the Botswana National Museum used to employ one guide stationed at Nlapkhwane, but unfortunately this year they did not hire a guide. This guide will be guiding people maybe from Nlapkhwane to maybe sites near Zwenshambe. But to date, if you want to go to these sites, you have to ask in the village those who were employed before to take you. You plead with them and then give them something. Accessibility is a challenge to date. In the past, it used to be accessible because it was being taken care of. Because the museum had opened some roads, the museum had constructed parking areas, camping areas, but because it has been neglected or there's nobody stationed there, the sites are not easily accessible. It's not easy to navigate or to cross the streams. And the vegetation cover has already closed up in some of the sites. They are not accessible. So the sites are not maintained, hence trees have outgrown and covered the trails, the parking areas, the roads, and the routes to follow. In one of the sites, the Gandanimba sites, on top or on the hilltop, there used to be this shrub that you see here. This one was harvested, so they'll harvest it. That's the shrub that I said is called Mfazi Muke or Lekala la Tshweni. This tree, when you take this branch and put it in water, it becomes green. So it's used for medicinal purposes. So when I visited the sites on last week, this tree is becoming extinct, or it in a few, because this time around it had rained, but I could not find any. So I'm not sure whether it will grow or not. There is limited marketing by entities offering tourism packages as compared to the northern part of Botswana. Little is known about the areas of interest or attraction that one can visit within the village. Signage, there are no signboards to guide the tourists in the main road or along the road. There used to be signboards along the road, but they're no longer there. At the site also, there used to be information boards, but they are no longer visible due to exposure to rain and water. If you look at that picture, it was in 2018, the signboards were visible. To date, the signboards are just like this. You cannot see any information that is written on the board. Packing of rock paintings. Packing of rock paintings continues in Nlapkhwane. When I did 20 years ago, it was still an issue, and it is still an issue, although it is not as bad as I thought it would be, but it continues. Fading and weathering of rock paintings. Some of the rock paintings that I saw 20 years ago, they are no longer visible, or they've been washed away by exposure to rain and water. Sinkhole, there is a sinkhole in one of the sites. That is, that hole is on the ground. This hole in the past or 20 years ago, you could see water. Although it will be far, but you could see water. They used to, they said in the past, when it rained, the water will fill up this hole and then start flowing downwards, making a waterfall. But to date, the sinkhole has been backfilled with sediments. So I'm not sure whether if it rains so hard, it will flow again. Ways in which the rock art sites can be developed to attract more tourists. These are some of the suggestions that I think will maybe help the community or help as a way of attracting tourists to the area. Empower the community trust, train them on management and conservation of rock art sites and how to utilize the rock art sites in order to create revenue. Access roads, they should open and maintain access roads and trails so that it can be easily be accessible from the main road. Signage, provide signage at the main roads and their sites. Information boards should be updated. They should train local guides and hire more local guides. Partner with lodges, reserves, and ranches for shared marketing material, signage, and cross-promotion, including rock art experiences and packages and booking system used in the lodge and ranches, because there are lodges and ranches within a radius of 30 kilometers, but they are not visiting the sites. Establish benefit sharing agreements where a portion of rock art tour revenue will support local communities or heritage projects. Communities can be co-owners or service providers, for example, crafts, storytelling, and guiding. Rock art sites should not be marketed in isolation from other activities. That can be, other activities can be, there are other activities that can be appealing to tourists. You should combine rock art visits with indigenous performances, festival, traditional meals, or craft demonstrations at the village or lodges. Teach the local community how they can utilize the rock art sites. These are some of the rock arts that is found in the area. Thank you very much, Ndawoka.
Thank you so much for your lovely presentation. I just want to know if you have tried to find out from the National Museum as to why they have abandoned in quotes, like you said, the site. Did you try to find out why we include in the signage, everything? Because I think they are the ones responsible.
I did try to find out why they did not hire guides, maybe. They said the guide that was hired is from if you look closely, the guide that was hired is in another village. That is, you see the sign which says to Bulawayo. There's a village just there called Ramukwebana where you access the Bulawayo border. That is where the guide is situated right now. So the guide cannot take people or take tourists to the sites. Yeah, but there's a guide, but she is stationed elsewhere. About the signage, I have not, maybe they will respond. Mate.
Who would like to respond to the signage? Because after I have the question here. Philippe? So, Philippe have to respond.
Thank you, Kuda, for a wonderful presentation. I'm not really responding to all the pressure from the other side. Okay, cool. But thank you for the presentation. One of the things that I found, repeated, and in fact, from the very beginning of the presentation was the fact that rock art should not be seen in isolation in that area. And coming to the comment that might answer the question by proxy, I think that two things. Generally speaking, I don't know if we can say that tourism in that area is well developed. I think that it's still really at a very infancy stage, because I mean, even what is happening annually with the festivals, it attracts people like for a day, for 2 days, and then it goes back again to that situation. The route is at the moment, I think, very much undeveloped and not developed. And I think until we have really, like you've made some suggestions there, marketing with the lodges in the area, probably, taking advantage of what is in Francistown to get more people who are visiting Francistown for business, to take a day tour. And it cannot be rock art alone. People will have to go for something to sort of bring up the tourism, develop the tourism trail in the area. And it will take time to do that. With proper marketing, it will, pick up. But I think on the other issue of why the National Museum is not employing guides, with all due respect, and when someone says with all due respect, it might be issues. I think the situation is that such that why would anybody employ guides in an area that's where there's no tourism development? For what? And so I think that I'm not justifying why they haven't done that, though I know the reasons, but they are not even what was stated here. But the truth is that people are still seeing government as the one that must employ people, in that area. But I think the product must be such that it is able to provide its own. The market should be such that demand and supply should should kiss each other, and so I think there's no romance between demand and supply. So you want the people to kiss. You see what I'm saying? So I think that might be the challenge in this area here with why the situation might look like that. But I understand in terms of politics. I'm sorry, it took longer. In terms of the politics of the area, I understand the pressure that, because there's some parts in Botswana where some guides have been employed by government as a poverty alleviation scheme, and then put people and said you are guides. But that's not sustainable. It was just really a poverty alleviation program, and I think that we should take it like that.
Okay. I think it was more of answering the question and suggesting.
You don't have anything to add? No? Okay. It was a question of Takunda. So I stop with Takunda first, then Feno.
Thank you. A part of my question was responded already by Dr. Philip, but I'll still ask the question. We are making recommendations of what is supposed to be done. There is, we need to clear roads, we need to put new signage. Good thing we're having this conference, people from the museum are hearing you, and hopefully they will respond accordingly. But in the event that you're just presenting, you're writing a paper, what are the measures, or in what ways can we present our case to those who can action our recommendations to heritage issues? Thank you.
Not necessarily meaning that I've taken the initiative to consult with the councillors in the village and with the community trusts to maybe enlighten them or make them see that there is an opportunity for them to maybe make use of the rock art sites and the activities that they have in the villages to attract more tourists or to make use of the sites. So I've already started talking to them. I think maybe in a few months or so, we'll see some changes in the rock art sites there.
So I'm thinking that following your presentation, the two other presentations that we have with Raphael and Tembi, it will complete very well what you are saying.
Thank you very much, Mugabe, for your useful presentation. You have covered some of my stuff, so I just have to appreciate that. But I don't think I agree with the chief from the museum. I don't agree with the chief from the museum. You see, I think some of the sites, it's not like they are popular. It's not like they're in high demand. I think some of the sites like Sudira are overrated. They're over-researched. So people tend to think that they are good. They are good, of course, from tourism point of view and all, but technically speaking, if you take a site like Nlapkhwane, in terms of rock art style, motif, execution, quality, proximity to Zimbabwe and to Chove National Park, that site is classic and deserves to be protected by the national. It's a national heritage. Can talk about it more. It's just an amazing site in terms of rock art. There is a bit of research for that. But I just wanted to comment quickly on the issue of signage and a museum. I think it's all about location, quality of the thing. I've talked about to Philip about it. So it's really how you orientate the signage. They've invested a lot of money in signage, but sometimes they put it in the open sun, wrong places, maybe use the wrong quality material, etc. But they have made an effort, but a lot of them are faded across the country in a very short time. And the advantage of tourism in Northeast District is the fact that the villages are very close to each other. And then in terms of creating a circuit or trail that you rightly suggest, you can easily package this rock art with all these things, especially things like in Timbani Dam. And the potters that I work with in Nlapkhwane and other people, if you put together, it becomes a attractive package that we can use. But also we have, though festivals happen once in a while, if you look at Olivia and Tuyua's work on Hosanna, I think you can really benefit a lot there in terms of how we can use these sites for tourism. And then even if the ceremony has ended, we can still take people there. Sorry, I hate the mic. Still take people there to benefit from these resources. And also, please tell people what this Lekhala Latsweni is. Whether it's for blood pressure, whether it's for making men happy and active, tell people what it is. Because I've seen it, but I quickly passed through it. So, no, I don't know. I just saw it. And I said, like, okay.
Yeah, the herb is used for reducing blood pressure and coughing, reducing fever and cough, because it has a minty taste. And I appreciate what you said, Dr. Thebe. I hope working with the community will try to maybe sell the rock art to the people, advocate for the rock art or for the activities, because there are other activities, although I haven't said them here, there are other activities that are happening, like during the Christmas festivals or Christmas holidays. There are soccer tournaments that are happening within all these villages where more people come to the sites. So it will be an opportunity for maybe the heritage group to maybe sell the rock art sites or their activities, because there are also activities such as there's a cultural village in Moroka where it is not yet open, but they have constructed a cultural village. So if this can be packaged well, they can sell the rock art.